That fence, new roof, or weekend building project with the quality lumber and materials you trust. Keep the grass green and work easy with Ultimate All-Season Lawn Fertilizer and Eco Cordless Power Outdoor Equipment. This summer, don't just stay home, make home the place everyone wants to be. With the help of Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby.
Every great sandwich should start with a great bread, which is why Mrs. Baird's puts as much care and pride into baking wholesome and delicious breads as you put into every sandwich. From toasted whole grains to natural honey and molasses, Mrs. Baird's breads are made from only the best stuff to fuel you and your family. So whether it's PB&J on whole grain white or turkey and Swiss on honey 7 grain, Mrs. Baird's has a delicious, nutritious bread to build it on. Mrs. Baird's, baking breads that taste great since 1908.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer and Garrett Wellbrock.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 KLOE and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Discussing it all from the preps to the pros.
Denver with the blitz on the way.
Ball deflected by Nick Bonito, and the Broncos win it!
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, along with
IdeaTech Fiber Internet, Topside Portables and Pumping, The Insurance Agency, Pest Away, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinner, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
Shot into left center field toward the gap. Here comes Sid on a dive and a tumble, and he hangs on. Outstanding play.
A payoff. Swing and a drive. Walker has launched.
Rio heads it back in. Due able to find Mbappe through traffic. Kylian Mbappe! 20 career World Cup goals. Gives France the lead in the quarterfinal.
Kicks and deals. And Castro hits this in the air. Deep to left field. Get up and get out. A 2-strike, 2-out blast from Willie Castro, number 7 on the season. It's 2-1 Rockies in the 4th.
And good Friday morning, everybody. We are back on the Morning Blitz for this July the 10th show. Broadcast, of course, on Rocket 102.5 KLOE and WKSradio.net and the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on YouTube, Facebook, as well as X. Appreciate you joining us no matter which way you're doing so here on this beautiful Friday morning. The sun is out shining. The temperature's a little cooler after that storm blew through yesterday. More thoughts on that in just a minute, but 64 degrees outside is the current temperature we have here on the High Plains, at least outside the doors of the KLOE studio. We will have maybe another chance of some storms tonight, but cooler temperatures today, only in the upper 80s, and then back to temperatures around 90 and the lower 90s for the foreseeable future after another night of storms that rolled through the listening area yesterday. I was on severe weather. You know, you could just kind of see it forming out there, kind of got going just out there in western Kit Carson County, west of Burlington, and just this massive line of storms that pretty much went up to the Colorado-Wyoming border, stretching down to almost the northern part around Tribune County, and just kind of made its way slowly but surely across our northwest Kansas and southwest Nebraska, eastern Colorado area. And I was getting some rainfall reports this morning as I was kind of getting some of this information. Pretty consistent rainfall, kind of built as it went further to the east. It looks like we had 60 points here in Goodland is what I had in my rain gauge this morning. Had a 1/2 inch in Winona, 3/4 of an inch in Park. Campus there east of Oakley had 1 inch 10, had the most. Grinnell had 1 inch. Oberlin had 30 points, a little bit less for those up north. Oakley had around 80 points of rain. I know Colby had some flash flooding happening again, unfortunately for them. Flash flooding was happening. I know I heard downtown reports of just Main Street was just had water up over the curb. So Colby's got so much water and the ground can't take anymore. It doesn't know what to do with it. So that's been kind of an interesting thing to see. and I feel bad for it. Garrett is not here right now. He'll join us hopefully a little bit later on in the show, as he is going to be live on location in Oakley, I believe, for the Annie Oakley Golf Tournament, which I think is this weekend. He's live on location there, helping with the remote broadcast. So he's going to join us a little bit later. I believe he can get everything set up and going correctly. So he'll join us a little bit later on, Will Garrett, and talk with us during the show. But that's why he's not here right now. Lucas is currently on a little baby moon with his wonderful wife as they get set to welcome in their first child, and they're trying to get away for a little bit of time before that day comes here in about a month and a half. In the month of August, their due date is. So it's a pretty quiet building here, to say the least. It's a quiet show, and you only have me for the foreseeable future, at least at this point in time. We'll see if Garrett can get up and get going and join in the process here in a little bit. And speaking of Garrett, he'll have another story for us because of all the water and stuff. I think he's going to get another new floor. I think he's going to get his third different floor in his brand new apartment in less than a month. The guy has had some really tough luck trying to keep his floors dry at his apartment. A drainage issue seems to be the issue kind of around his apartment complex. And I was kind of joking with him last night about it. I said, this is not really good planning on the pre-build part there. And he goes, yeah, you're right. But also I thought to myself, well, it never rained. I've been here in Northwest Kansas for 15 years, and I'm pretty sure this is probably the most rain that Colby's gotten in that time frame of 15 years. So they're just not used to it. They don't know what to do with all this water. Anyway, we got a full show ahead today. Friday show. We are going to have a guest today. We're going to welcome into the program another first-time guest. We had a first-time guest yesterday in Matt Glover, Colby Community College new head men's basketball coach, which was great to visit with him. But we're going to have another first-time guest, another Colby guest. We're going to have Dakota Breyer. He is the new head football coach at Colby High School. He is going to join us here in a little bit, coming up in segment number 2. Looky here, the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. There he is, Garrett Wellbrock joining us. Let's welcome into the show. Good morning, sir. How are we doing? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Look at you. It's like you're Dan Patrick at Lake Tahoe. Look at you.
Yeah, the Oakley Country Club is basically Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, I bet, with all the water probably there this morning, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad you can see on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream, Garrett joining us now. It's the Annie Oakley, correct? Or am I wrong on that?
Yes.
The Annie Oakley golf tournament today?
Yep.
You and Uncle Paul over there?
No, he's actually not coming. It's just me and Chad today.
Oh, you and Chad today.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that explains why maybe you were a little bit late to the show.
we had some issues on the way over. Yeah. Crazy.
Oh, man. Well, I was just telling the people of your unfortunate problems that you're having with your house. Give us the details this morning. Are you still because you texted me, you said, I got to see it happen live in person for the first time. What was that? What was that like, watching that happen?
Yeah, that's definitely a little interesting when you see it happen and not just wake up to it. Got to little live coverage, you could call it. So I put a towel down underneath the door. And my best example of this was, it was like if you played a football game 1-on-11. Didn't have much of a chance, but it was it actually held its own pretty well, that towel. It wasn't, the water didn't come in as bad as last storm, but it did just kind of seeped under everything. The walls, the front door. It was wild to see. But yeah, I actually ended up staying in a hotel last night. I was like, my whole bathroom was flooded, so I won't be able to get ready in the morning. Caught a little hotel action last night. So another eventful day, part 2 in my apartment.
Last night you were in a hotel.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Your frustration level has got to be high, I'm guessing, right now.
Well, yeah, because it was like everything was starting to get back to normal, and then it happens again.
Did they get the baseboard in?
No, they didn't. They hadn't.
So they hadn't got it completely redone yet.
Yeah.
So I guess if there's a small victory there, it's not like they just got completely done. Everything's back to where it needs to be, and then the next day, boom.
Yep.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, man. I apologize. This is a tough deal.
Yeah, it is what it is, though. I guess can't really do much about it.
No, apparently you need to get more towels.
A lot more. I don't know if Walmart has enough towels for that debacle.
Well, I've heard, I heard yesterday, Chad was telling me that, water was up over the curb on Main Street there in Colby. I mean, that's a lot of water. I was telling before you got on, I was just like, Colby's not used to this. I've been over in Northwest Kansas now for 15 years. I was in Colby for 5 prior to this in Goodland and never, ever saw it rain this amount. I mean, the ground doesn't know what to do with all this water.
No kidding. I mean, it was, close to 3 inches last night, I think, and it didn't rain very long. Maybe an hour and a half.
Is that what Colby got? Was 3 inches again?
It was close to that.
Holy cow!
Check me on there, maybe 2.5. But yeah, it was around that range.
See, that's just ridiculous because I was looking at rainfall reports this morning. I was giving them before you got on the air with us, but they had 80 in Oakley, 30 in Oberlin, an inch in Grinnell, an inch 10 in Campus, 75 in 75, or 3/4 inch in Park, had half inch. Winona had 60 in my gauge in Goodland. East of Goodland, John had 65. Let's see, a little bit south of town had a little bit more, had a little bit like maybe a half inch or something like that. It's what's amazing to me once again is that you see everywhere around Colby had a half to maybe an inch, and Colby gets 2.5 to 3.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing there?
I don't know. Maybe it's my curse. I move up to Colby, and all of a sudden, it rains it feels like every week. Just a huge rainstorm. Yeah.
Garrett making it rain in Colby. That's what he's doing. Used to make it rain on the basketball court. Now it just rains literally everywhere he goes. Rusty was 5 miles east of Goodland. He had an inch of rain. What else did he say here? There was a lot more that didn't hit the rain gauge because of the wind. That's a thank you, Rusty, for that. So the wind certainly played. There was a lot of wind too last night. In Weskin, Rob had just a little under a half an inch. Cheryl had just about almost 30 hundredths, 29 points in her rain gauge. So yeah, the weather was interesting to say the very least yesterday. And I'm sorry once again for. Are you in the hotel for the weekend? You think or what?
Well, I got to go back home to return. I had to bring up my parents' car last weekend because I was bringing some stuff up. So,
oh gosh,
it wouldn't fit in mine. So I had to take theirs. So I was actually going back anyway to return it and kind of do the good old switcheroo. But yeah, I'll probably just stay there now for a couple of days.
As well.
No reason to come back. Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to ask Gerard if he's got a shop vac. I think you need to keep that in your home.
I know that might have to be something that's just permanently there at this point.
Dad, can I keep the shop vac up home until we get maybe to the wintertime we get snow? Can we just get some shop vac?
Yeah. Yep.
Then the next time you see it coming in, just put that shop vac hose right up there and turn her on. Suck her up.
I was on the phone last night with my girlfriend, and I'm like, this is like I'm hearing the rain. I'm like, I feel like it's gonna flood again. Like it's the same exact sound as last time when it did, and then sure enough,
he called his shot and he nailed it again.
Yeah, I'm not you want to call your shot on, but
no. But apparently you're the rain man, literally the rain man, Garrett Wellbrock. But glad you're with us once again. Garrett is live on location at the Annie Oakley Golf Tournament here today. They'll be out there broadcasting live. I think you said till noon Central Time. Is that right?
Yes. Yep, noon Central Time.
Yeah, him and Chad will be out there. So invite people to go check out that or participate in the Annie Oakley Golf Tournament out there at the Oakley Country Club going on today. Beautiful day for it. I mean, golly, the sun, the temps, it's going to be a wonderful day for it.
Oh, yeah. Not too hot either. Nice little breeze, keeping it cool. Yeah. Should be a good day for golf.
And like I said, Garrett looks like he's on the Dan Patrick Show at Lake Tahoe out there. He's got the wonderful golf course behind him. We got lots to get to on today's program. We'll get to picks of the weekend. I mentioned Dakota Breyer is going to join us coming up on the show as well in about 10 to 15 minutes. First segment, though, here, I do want to dive in real quickly and talk about something I saw yesterday I thought was interesting. I think about 10 minutes will be good to kind of talk about this. But the athlete on 3 and their crew of people, it was Ross Dellinger who wrote this article. Yes, it was Ross Dellinger, who, by the way, is one of the best reporters in college football. But Ross Dellinger was at Big 12 Football Media Days, and they were talking about multiple different things. And something came up where the Big 12 coaches, the league coaches, were talking about the selection process for the college football playoff. And they were talking about, metrics and data, when it comes to scheduling, when it comes to, what else might that be? Home field advantage, injuries, all these things. And Dave Aranda and the coaches said they have all these metrics, but why in the world do they not include possibly a data point as in how much does a team spend on its roster? You got teams out here spending $30 to $40 million on their roster. You got other teams that can barely get to $15 million on their roster or less. And so the point being is, what in the world, is this a metric that they should be considering at this point in time? That is the question. What are your thoughts on this article that I shared with you?
I kind of like it, actually. You get those teams that have the smaller budgets that have good seasons, but maybe are 10-2 right on the edge compared to another 10-2 team that is spending 30 to 40 million more dollars, like an LSU, for example. Say they lose, 2 or 3 games next year. And then you have, I don't know, just like a Big 12 school, maybe like BYU or, any of these, kind of mid-tier teams that you would think maybe you have a good year, go 10-2, and it's like, or 11-1 even, and you don't necessarily, you're going to probably put LSU in over that Big 12 school, but it's like they have the 30 million more dollars to spend, and yet they had the same record. And I think that should maybe, I think it's a cool idea to kind of count into that for the selection committee. I don't know about your ideas there, but that's kind of where I fall. I believe it'd be really cool to do that because of the disparity of college football where it is right now.
There's a quote in this article on On3 from Ross Dellinger says, the gap in the league, the Big 12, is particularly wider than many others. Coaches polled here believe that the average football roster spending in the Big 12 is around $20 to $25 million, with Texas Tech leading the group at or above $40 million for its roster for Texas Tech. Everyone else, once again, at the 20 to 25 range. So it puts the Red Raiders on par with some of the blue blood programs in the SEC and the Big 10. I'm guessing you're looking at anywhere between $40 and $55 million on a particular. I'm guessing LSU is up there near the $50 million. There's been reports of that. And with there being no cap on what you can or cannot spend, then, this is what happens. And I totally see this from the coach's perspective, how, we're going to be around the $20 million range, which is a good number, but for college football, but at the same time, when it's half of what everybody else is, that's the problem. And, if you're a coach, how the heck do you compete with a roster that has twice as much money in its coffers? That's a hard thing. The thing that I see about this is I totally get it from the coach's perspective, how let's make this a metric, but how the heck do you compute that? I don't know how you compute that. You're saying, well, Texas Tech had a $40 million roster and went 10-2. Let's say Kansas State had a $20 million roster and they went 10-2. They're both on the fringe of making the college football playoff. Who should we put in? And then what do you say? Well, the lesser roster is the one that gets in because they did more with less. How do you explain that away? That would be my 2 cents on that. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure. And obviously, when you put it that way too, and I would like to see. I think it'd be cool to see the smaller roster teams get in, but we're also talking about the college football playoff committee here. They're going to value the team that they feel has more talent, and who probably has more talent is
the one you spent more money on. Yeah,
exactly. So, we can say all these things we want to say, but at the end of the day, the college football committee have their kind of levels to how they judge teams. And past several seasons, it's kind of been look at the top blue blood type programs, and these smaller budget teams aren't probably going to get the benefit of the doubt that we would like.
And the other thing is, who's going to share the money? Which of these teams in colleges is going to share their roster amounts? That's usually just kind of we're somewhere in this range, and that's a lie. It's kind of like going to a farmer during harvest. Like, what are your yields? Oh, they're not very good. They're around here, and really they're double that. That's the same thing with this roster. With this roster talk, you're going to get a bunch of liars out there that say, "Oh yeah, we're only spending $35 million." Really, they're spending 50, but they're spending. They say they're spending $35 million. There's no way that, and unless you're going to get a bill or some law that says you got to say how much you spend on your roster, I just don't see how this is going to be a metric going forward. I just don't see how they're going to make this a metric, just because when when you come right down to it, like I said, that example before, you've got two teams that are on the fringe of trying to get in to the college football playoff, and they have the same exact record. How in the heck are you going to decide that between, well, this team, they have the same kind of, they have the same kind of other metrics. So let's go to roster. What, that team did more with less. So let's keep that, let's keep them, or whatever, or let's do this, or let's do that. I just don't see how that can all compute. I just don't see how it can happen at this point in time.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of liars for sure, because if you are giving that smaller budget team, well, what is going to stop Texas Tech from being like, well, you're going to give, Kansas State the benefit of the doubt. No, we actually spent less, even though they definitely didn't. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those deals.
There's a question here from Ross Dellinger, said, should a 10-2 and 15th ranked Utah team have been ranked ahead of a 9-3 number 13 Texas team last year? The Longhorns, it is believed, spent twice as much as the Utes on their 2025 roster. Houston finished 9-3 and ranked number 21. What is the likely of that of one of the lowest roster compensations of any power league program? Maybe the Cougars should have been ranked higher. So you're saying if you've spent more money yet you or spent less money yet you have a better record, you should get ranked higher.
I have a take.
How that happens.
I have a take about Texas that really fires me up.
I can't wait. I want to see Garrett Wellbrock fired up.
Well, how they try to. You see Steve Sarkisian at the podium, like after one of their games late in the year, and he's trying to argue his way, give his sales pitch to why they should be in the college football playoff. The best sales pitch, Steve Sarkisian, is you win your games. You don't lose to Florida on the road, who won 4 or 5 games last season. That's how you make the college football playoff. Oh my gosh, it's like, you want to make it, you win your games. It's pretty simple. I understand the SEC is a tough league, but don't lose on the road to a team that doesn't even make a bowl game. That's how you do it.
You think there's politicking that went on in the SEC last year? Wait until this season.
Oh boy, I can't imagine.
Because they're going to the 9-3 schedule.
Yep.
They've been 8-4 for forever. Now they're going to 9-3, which means 9 conference games, 3 non-conference games, and they're still going to require teams to play 1 Power 4 squad in one of those 3 non-con games. Whereas the Big Ten, for example, does not require that. You've got teams, particularly like Nebraska, who's playing North Dakota, Ohio, and some other podunk in the non-conference before they play their 9 conference games in the Big Ten. So the SEC is going to play 10 games against Power 4 squads and 9 against their own conference. You watch. Politicking is going to be at its all-time high in the SEC. Well, we play in the toughest conference. We play 9 games in the toughest conference, and we play an extra game on top of that. You might as well just record that saying right there. It's going to be said hundreds of times this season.
Well, if you're a 9-3 team and you have 3, quality losses to top 15 teams, and maybe you have a couple top 15 wins as well in there, then we can reevaluate, what I had to say about Texas. But it's just the loss to Florida last season. It's that's inexcusable. You can't have that. And there were probably, if I had to put money on it, I guarantee you there's probably a 9-3 team in the playoff this year from the SEC, maybe sneaking in at the 10 spot or 11, who knows, but it's probably going to happen with that extra game. But I would rather, kind of the Big Ten, I wish they would go to that module where they're having to play at least 1 Power 5 team. You see how many times you see Ohio State on the big noon game and they're playing Marshall, or for 3 straight games they're playing Bowling Green, Marshall, and then Ohio. They don't play anybody in the non-con. Last year they did get Texas, and they do try and schedule some teams, but I would like to see a better non-con schedule. The Big Ten, to your point, Nebraska kind of, the fans don't even. I feel like if you as a Nebraska fan, would you rather them play, start 3-0 or play a team that, is a competitive team?
Oh, I would much rather do the competitive team thing. I mean, as a fan, I would. I went out to the Colorado game a few years ago, which was, we got beat, but it was fun. It was a blast to go out to Colorado game and watch that, a few years ago, in Coach Prime's first ever home game. I was there for it, and it was crazy. But to your point, the Big Ten needs to do that. My guess is that's probably going to happen. But I'll counterpoint here. If you are the Big Ten and you have seen Indiana go 16-0, playing a pathetic schedule the first 3 games and win the national championship, why the heck would you challenge yourself? Why would you? It doesn't hurt your chances. Until the committee says, well, you need to challenge yourself more in the non-con, then they're just going to do that. That's what's going to happen. Now, the only way that could change is the SEC goes this deal, and then the committee says, well, they play 10 games against Power 4, and you guys don't, so we're going to give them more teams. Then the Big Ten will change. I mean, Nebraska, I think, was scheduled to play, I think, either this year or next year. I think it was Tennessee. They're scheduled to play against Tennessee, either on the road or at home. That would have been a great thing to see. Probably would have got our butts kicked, but it would have been fun to see, the scarlet and cream against the orange of Rocky Top. But yeah, if you're a coach, you're like, why the heck do I schedule 3 hard opponents in the why? Because they're not going to punish us if we do or if we don't. So what does it matter? Why would we do it? So I get the counterpoint, but I don't know. There's a lot of things that need to be figured out. I think how you fix this problem is you got to put a cap on things. You got to say the most you can spend on your roster is 30 to 35 is 30, it's $35 million. Bam. That's the most you can spend. Can't spend any more than that. Now there's unfortunately too many legal issues and things like that are going to cause that to probably not go through, but that's the only way to fix that. Otherwise you're just going to have lots of discrepancies throughout college sports. All right. 7:33 Mountain Time, 8:33 Central Time. Once again, Garrett live on location in Oakley at the Oakley Country Club for the Annie Oakley. Is it the Annie Oakley Shootout? Is that what it's called? I'm trying to remember what that is.
I'm not sure.
Annie Oakley Invitational? I don't know. Ask that guy walking in the background.
Yes, it is a shootout. It is a shootout. I see it sign over here. Annie Oakley Shootout.
It would make sense since Annie Oakley was a gun expert, So the Annie Oakley Shootout there at the Oakley Country Club. He'll be there until noon today, but he'll be on the Blitz here for the next 30 minutes. We'll take a break, come back. Dakota Breyer is going to join us. He is the new head football coach for Colby High School. Look forward to visiting with him next. You're listening to the Morning Blitz here on a Friday.
Here's a bright idea. Make sure you put your pants on before leaving the house. Sure, it seems simple, but sometimes simple doesn't happen. At IdeaTech, we think it's simple to have real people who live in Kansas helping customers. We understand that not everyone in our industry agrees. Then again, not everyone puts on pants before they leave the house. We think it's important to get the simple things right. Putting our pants on and providing local customer service. Another bright idea from IdeaTech.
It's simple. Get IdeaTech fiber internet at ideatech.com.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Tom Saludo with the Anderson Trade Group with your overnight market report on July the 10th. In the overnight session, sep corn was up 1.5 at 4.33 1/4, D's up 1.5 at 4.53 1/2, and March up 1 1/4 at 4.68 3/4. August soybeans are unchanged at 11.78, sep unchanged at 11.70, and no soybeans unchanged at 11.81 1/2. Sep KC wheat up 15 1/2 at 6.70, D's KC wheat up 15 at 6.83 1/2, and March up 14 1/2 at 6.95 1/4. The Dow Jones is currently up 130 points at 52,890. The S&P is unchanged at 7,588. NASDAQ is down 130 points at 29,806. Gold is down 30 points at 4,109 an ounce. Silver is slightly down at 59.5, and crude oil is unchanged at 72 a barrel. If you're out in the Colorado area and have any grain to market or risk management questions, please call John Hanke or John Stiles at 977-744-4484, or you can call the Overland Park office, myself, Tom Saludo, Jared Law, or Tyler Ghosh at 913-748-3000. Thank you.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
A barbecue for up to 50 people, a cooler packed with drinks, and a brand new grill and cooler that is yours to keep. Visit participating sponsors, scan the QR code, and enter daily. Text ROCK to 785-460-0790 for more information. Rock the block, because every neighborhood needs one legendary party.
It's the Morning Blitz.
We're having a great time, couple of laughs, everything's nice.
Weekday mornings from 7 to 8 Mountain, 8 to 9 Central.
Once again, we are back here on the Morning Blitz on this Friday, July the 10th. Garrett's getting beverages handed to him. Man, you are living the life over at Oakley today.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty nice over here.
The question is there any adult beverage in that cup that was handed to you this morning at 8?
Not to my knowledge, but who knows? Maybe they slipped something in.
They slipped something in there. It's been a tough couple of days for Garrett Wellbrock, including last night with all the water that once again has found its way back into his apartment. But some thoughts quickly from the EpiBank text line before we get to Dakota Breyer. Jared H. says, talking about our discussion on NIL, says there either needs to be a hard cap or teams with the higher NIL budgets get less back from postseason revenue. That's interesting. That's kind of a good idea, Jared. I like that one. And Rob, I'm in your quarter, buddy. He just says, horns down, losers. Talking about the Texas Longhorns. Let's get to the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. Waiting patiently for us is new head football coach for Colby High School. Be his first season coming up here this fall. Dakota Breyer joins us there. Good morning, Dakota. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing well. Coach, thank you so much for taking some time today. Really appreciate it. What's it been like getting, I see, you're a big family man. What's it been like getting the whole crew moved over to Western Kansas?
Oh, it's been good so far. It's been changes for my kids especially, but I mean, when I got the offer and I was talking to people here, first thing I heard was we don't get rain and storms out here. But since I've moved, I don't think we've missed a storm yet.
So maybe it's not Garrett. Maybe you're the problem is the reason for the rain, Coach. Maybe you're the culprit of this big rain shower thing.
I mean, it's very possible, but I mean, maybe it's helping out some of the farmers that way.
Well, trust me, we're not going to complain about the rain. We're definitely not going to complain about it, but it is kind of funny to have this much rain after not really having anything quite like it. Coach, kind of give us some of the thoughts behind coming out to Colby and taking over this position here as the Colby High School football coach.
For me, it's a step up in classification. I'm in 1A as an assistant coach, 3A. This position came available, and this is something I've wanted to do, is become a head coach pretty much my whole life. So the opportunity arose, and I just had to try to run with it, basically. Take an opportunity that's given to me, and it's new scenery, new change for us, and I'm excited for it.
Talk kind of about, just kind of the way summer went for you. What's a little early read on your team? How was summer camp, the summer weights? Really, what were the numbers looking like? Just kind of summarize in whole, how was just the off season for you?
I mean, realistically, coming out, we had real good numbers going into camp. The guys took to it really well. We only had 4 days to learn kind of what I run before we went to our camp up in Hastings. But the guys did really well when we were there. We showed some signs of some promising things that could happen this year. Weights numbers, they've been pretty good. They could always be better. Every coach will tell you that. But I think as a whole, the guys that are coming in, putting in the work, I mean, it's been good.
Dakota Breyer is our guest. He is the new football coach for Colby High School, joining us on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. 4 days is all the time you got to try to install your system before a camp. Can you talk about the process of those 4 days and then making changes on the fly at the Hastings football camp?
Yeah, no, we came out, or I got out here and we started our weights. We did our lifting first, and then we went out on the field for about an hour just to kind of walk through what I do, slowly build into. I didn't prepare everything, I guess, for camp, but I gave them kind of a rundown of the base plays that I'd like to hit hard, this year. And then when we got to Hastings, it's a 3-day camp. We kind of got to the first night. You really get to work some more install as a group, and then kind of break off on that Monday, Tuesday following to really see what you look like against other opponents, I guess. Each day it was a little bit. We added a little bit more. First day we started with just a couple formations and about 2 plays. The next day we added about 4 more plays. It's a slow install, and as the summer's gone on, we've kind of talked more about it. We haven't necessarily installed the offense as much. We've added some more defensive things. But for offensive purpose to go to camp, especially for O-linemen, it's a little bit, for what I run, it's a little bit tougher job for them. So we made some armbands that it really sped up the process, I guess, creating some armbands to have them see kind of where they're going or what their responsibility really is.
So you're an offensive guy. Is that kind of what you're going to be planning on doing once game day, calling the plays, different things like that? And is it going to be more of a slower install on the offensive side than maybe the defensive side?
Yeah, I'm going to call the plays on Friday nights on offense. Install for the offense, it'll take a little bit of time each week, gaining a little bit more knowledge on each thing. But I'm planning as the year goes with some systems, implementing some systems and some like tags to make it easier to be able to hit the ground running come week 1 with almost the whole playbook. Because once the season gets here, you have that 2-week frame ahead of time with your first week of practice, the second week jamboree. So I think I can have, I would say, a better part of half to 3/4 of my playbook in by then. But offense, yeah, it definitely would be a slower, I think, install for them. Defensively, it's not, the formations are a lot the same on defense. It's not going to change the scheme much. It's just kind of some coverage stuff that gets changed. So I think offense definitely will be a slower build than the defense.
Dakota Breyer, our guest, Colby High School football coach, new head man there over at Colby High for the upcoming 2026 football season. Philosophy-wise, when you talk football, are you a run-the-ball guy, or are you a balanced guy? You believe in throwing the ball a little bit more? I'm just kind of curious what you think when it comes to your philosophies offensively.
No, I'm a run. Overall, I'm a passer, but when you come on Friday night, it's going to be you're going to see a lot of run. We're pretty run heavy. 60-40 balance is what I shoot for. There's games you'll see me, I'm more of an 80-20 run. Some games I'm 50-50. I grew up on power football. Where I was at the last school I was at, power football was also the only way that we could really find advantages, I guess, because we always had an undersized line there. So running backs who were willing to run downhill. So I've stuck with this run game. Just finding different ways to keep the ball out of the air, necessarily avoiding turnovers, I guess. I'm trying to be able to not have a ton of turnovers and stay in the game all the way through.
When you take a look at this GWAC conference, and some of the teams that sit at the top, that have sat at the top for quite some time, and what's kind of your philosophy on how you plan to try and knock them off and kind of instill that will into your players, that believing in themselves that they can win at the highest level in this league?
Look, the GWAC it's been over the years a pretty dominant first and second top 1 and 2 teams in the GWAC, and then that third team every year's been about the same one. And so in the past, it's been a pretty solid battle for 4th place, it looks like, where the top has kind of been straightened out realistically. But for our guys here, trying to bring a new coach in and learn his system, I think the biggest thing for them, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure the other team don't have the ball. I'll slow it down if I have to. I will change what we do without going out of the range of what our offense typically looks like. For us, I'm gonna never put them in a position to be out of a game. Like I'm gonna control what we can do. The guys for us need to understand do what we do and do it at our level, and we'll be fine at the end of the game. And we'll keep it close regardless. There's games that can go either way. The last 2 years of this offense that I've ran, especially, we've had so many games that's come down to a 1-score or a 1-point game, because everyone believes that if we just keep battling and do our jobs and worry about what we can control, we can stay in any game and beat anyone. And that's really what I've been trying to get across is like, I don't care what last year's record is. We don't look forward. We look at the now, and we don't look at the past. It's what can we do now and take it week to week, and just keep battling. I kind of always I've been going with the motto of row the boat. PJ Fleck made it famous with Western Michigan. Now he's at Minnesota. But we follow this row the boat and never give up mentality. And that's what I'm trying to really push to the guys. Like, you're never out of it. Don't quit. And we'll just be fine.
Dakota Breyer is our guest here on the Morning Blitz, new Colby High School football coach. Did you get a chance to, I'm guessing you got a chance maybe to watch some film a little bit of the guys that you have for this coming year? You've got to meet some of the guys, work with some of the guys. Kind of curious on your thoughts on some of the guys that could be some key contributors for you here coming up in the 2026 season.
Yeah. I've watched some and then watched what we did at camp this year. Nathan Cates, a receiver, he is a guy that is going to be involved, especially in red zone situation. Neil Morrison at QB is going to get a step up and really take on a role that he got to start 2 games and kind of get moved in and out of QB last year a little bit. But he's looking for the full year being under center. He showed some really promising things at camp that maybe on film he didn't look like he could necessarily do it as well last year, but he's definitely taken on the reins and done everything I've asked of him so far. We got some running backs in this system that could really, and I run a 3 running back system. And I think each one of them each week, you never know who's going to pop off and have the big score, big yards, because any one of them can do it with the scheme. Gage Crone's returning to the backfield. I think we're moving some guys around. Sean Wadersky might move back there. Jack Denny's going to step up, but O-line realistically is where the biggest key for me is, because the skill guys, they can hit anyone on any team, but my O-line, like, I've got high hopes for a junior that he coming off a knee injury, but I got 2 seniors that are going to be big key pieces to that O-line that have been starters for the last couple of years. But I think really, and that's on offense. Now defensively, I think that realistically the same guys are going to be pretty crucial on both sides, but we can throw some other juniors in as well. I mean, overall, it's all going to be based off really what our O-line and Neil under center can do. The skill guys they're going to get plenty of opportunity all game long. It just can we get them the ball without any, turnovers or whatnot. Just, we got to get it to them first. So that O-line quarterback exchange, is going to be the biggest key.
Once again, that is Dakota Breyer, the new head football coach for the Colby Eagles. Dakota, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. Really do appreciate it. Look forward to visiting with you about the upcoming season here in a couple of weeks and throughout the upcoming season. So thank you again for the time today.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Once again, great stuff there from Dakota Breyer, the new head football coach for the Colby Eagles. Levi says, well, I'm really a pass first guy, but we run the ball.
Well, yeah, it's probably smart to get that ground game established. I'm excited for this upcoming season, getting to cover Colby. It brings a lot of cool ideas that I'm excited about.
He's already got the great coach mind. It doesn't matter what we got in the backfield or skill. What are we going to do on the lines? That's what wins games, is in the trenches.
Absolutely.
We got to get that figured out. We got the skill guys. We got to know what's the most important position, though, is at the line of scrimmage. So that's going to be a big part for every team in the area. And it sounds like for Colby as well. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show with picks of the weekend next here on the Morning Blitz on this Friday.
Your business was Grow local, stay local. FNB Bank, member FDIC.
Summer's made for road trips, lake weekends, and getting out of town, and Hurl Chevrolet GMC has the ride to get you there. Drive a new 26 GMC Terrain with $1,750 in total customer cash when you finance with GM Financial. Or take home a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation with $7,000 in purchase allowances with eligible trade-in or 1.9% for 60 months. Plus, save $1,000 in the 26 Sierra 2500. Adventure starts at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Online at hurlchev.com. GMC, professional grade.
Where do the best memories happen? Not in the living room. They happen out back. Build the perfect backyard with patio furniture, fire pits, grills, and smokers from Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware. Then tackle that fence, new roof, or weekend building project with the quality lumber and materials you trust. Keep the grass green and work easy with Ultimate All-Season Lawn Fertilizer and Eco Cordless Power Outdoor Equipment. This summer, don't just stay home, make home the place everyone wants to be. With the help of Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby.
When you gotta go, but there's nowhere to go, who you gonna call? Topside Portables and Pumping, that's who. Weddings, job sites, farm parties, they've got clean, reliable porta potties that don't stink, literally. And if your septic tank smells worse than last year's chili cook-off, they'll pump it out fast. No mess, no fuss. Family owned, Heartland values, always ready. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. When duty calls, they answer.
Whether it's touchdowns, home runs, or buzzer beaters, we've got you covered. It's the Morning Blitz.
All right, wrapping up a show on a Friday. Once again, Garrett out live at the Annie Oakley Shootout at the Oakley Country Club. He'll be there broadcasting with Chad Jones until noon Central Time today. I invite you to go check that out. I see all the golfers. See a guy in the back getting limbered up. Oh, no, he's sitting on a bench. That's what that is. I thought he was doing some stretching. It's over your right shoulder. He is stretching.
You know, if anybody needs a celebrity shot today off the first tee box, your boy's right here. So
there you go. Call up Garrett. He'll hit one off the tee.
Yep.
Ask Chad to do it too. If it's a long one, he can bomb her out there.
Oh man, yeah, he can smash a ball.
He is a smasher.
Yeah.
That is for sure. The flag prizes. All right, let's move on here on the Morning Blitz. It's time to get to our picks of the weekend. All right, Garrett, what do we got today?
Now we're going to start in the World Cup. We got 3 games this weekend in the quarterfinals. They started yesterday. We'll start with Belgium and Spain.
Got to go with España. They haven't allowed a goal, I think, all World Cup. Give me Spain.
I'm going to go Belgium. They intrigued me in that USA game. They played out of their minds, I think. I mean, probably a perfect game. I know US didn't play great, but they played a really good one. So I'm going to go for the upset. I'll take Belgium to win that one. We got England and Norway.
Oh, man, this one is tugging at my heartstrings a little bit. Harry Kane, Holland. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to go with Rowe. Give me Norway.
I love that pick. I've been looking at this one. I can't really decide. And
I think it's a true coin flip. I think it's really a true coin flip.
I'll go England for the disagreement here. I do want Norway to win, though. I like Holland a lot in the rowing. That's awesome. But I'll go England. I think they got a little more firepower, especially with Kane and Jude Bellingham. Both those guys.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we got Switzerland and Argentina.
You can't go against Messi. Can't go against Messi.
No, you cannot. Got to go Argentina as well.
Well, can you imagine if we get Messi and Mbappe in the final? Oh my Lord!
A rematch, 22.
That'd be awesome.
It would be. All right, now moving on to the MLB. We'll start with Mariners and Rays starting a 3-game series in Tampa Bay.
You can't go against my boy Junior Caminero. I'm gonna go with the Rays. Sorry, bud.
I'm going Rays too, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm switching. They have the Mariners just got swept in Miami. They can't win on the East Coast. I like Junior Caminero, and they're going to beat them. And I hate to say it. Hopefully I can kind of give them the broadcaster's jinx there, but not sure it will happen. Yankees and Nationals.
Yanks are struggling. They had back-to-back games of 17 strikeouts. Think about that, Garrett. Over the course of 18 innings, they struck out 34 times.
Holy moly.
You know what? I'm going to take America's team. Give me the Nats this weekend.
Nationals have been surprised. Them and the Marlins have both been really surprising teams this year. And it's awesome. You want to see more parity. I'm going to go Yankees, though. I think they turned it around in Washington this weekend. But they have been awful. They can't play any worse. So I'll take them to win the series. We got Cubs and Reds, little NL Central matchup.
I'm going to take the Cubs. They were in such a bad spot probably, a month or so ago, but they have seemed to have kind of put it back together a little bit here as of late. I'm going to take Cubbies.
I think we've had them on the show or the picks of the weekend, the last 2 weekends. I think they played the Brewers and they played the Cardinals. Now they're playing the Reds. I'm going to go Cubs as well. They have been kind of hot lately. I like them to get that series. Then we got another intriguing NL Central matchup. The Brewers going to Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates.
Can't go against the Miz. I'm going to go Brew Crew.
I haven't looked if Miz is going up against Skeens. That would be an S-tier Friday night type of matchup if that is the case.
That's like all-star game matchup right
Yes. Yes. I wish they could play against each other in the all-star game, but both being NL, they can't. I'll go Milwaukee, too. I think they got too many bats for Pittsburgh. Now, probably your favorite part of the picks. We're going to the WNBA.
Yes,
Let's go. It's the Dallas Wings versus the Toronto Tempo.
By the way, I love the name of the Toronto Tempo, but I'm going to go with the Wings. They got me that win over the Sun last week, so I'm going to ride them.
I'll go Toronto then. I'll go to the Tempo. Tempo are 7.5-point underdogs in this game, but they're 9-12. They're right around 500. I think they can get it done. They are at home, so that'll help. Having to go from Dallas all the way up to Toronto.
There you go.
Moving on, we're going to have the Golden State Valkyries coming in as 6.5-point favorites against my favorite team, the Connecticut Sun.
Well, then since you're taking the Sun, I'm going to take the Valkyries just for fun.
Yeah, and I probably am pretty much counting myself a loss for that one, but I'm going to go with the Sun here today.
We talked about yesterday, Brittany Griner's on the Sun, and so is her, and they're both hurt. They're top two.
Yeah, Brittany Griner, and then I don't remember the other one was, but yeah, they're both injured. They're top 2 leading scorers, so that explains why they're 5-17. Probably the most even matchup here. We got the Chicago Sky and the Los Angeles Sparks.
Give me the Sky. I think Skylar Diggins plays for the Sky. She was a great player at Notre Dame. So give me Skylar Diggins at the Sky.
She's out with a knee injury right now, it looks like. But, yeah, I'm going to go Sky as well. I don't really know anybody on the Sparks. So, I guess.
Cameron, what's her name? What's her name? Cameron.
Cameron Brink, yes. Yeah. She's there. So is Kelsey Plum. But they're both hurt. Yeah, they're both hurt.
WNBA. Everybody's hurt in the WNBA.
What a product.
Yeah, what a product.
You go to a game and none of the players are playing. None of the stars. Go on. Yep, going Sky though.
It's like in Major League. Who are these girls?
Yep. So I have come back in this race. I'm only down by one pick. You're 54-36. I'm 53-37, but a lot of disagreement here this weekend. So it'll definitely fluctuate.
A deciding weekend lies ahead.
Yep.
In picks. All right, well, there you go. Great picks of the weekend. All right, let's get to the walk-off here.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
All right, we get out of here. Some baseball. Royals lose the rubber match to the Mets in the Toilet Bowl Series, 7-3. They lose that one there. They're in Baltimore this weekend, which you can hear all weekend long on AM 790 KXXX. Rockies opened a 4-game series in San Fran last night, lost 8-2. Probably the interesting story yesterday in sports, Wichita is going to be a part of the opening round for the 2027-28 men's NCAA basketball tournament. Excitement there, Garrett?
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, I would love to make it out sometime to an NCAA tournament. Yeah, I've never been. I know you went to OKC, right?
Man, I partied my you-know-what off there.
Yeah, I would love to get up a game. I might have to make the trip to Wichita because it doesn't get much closer than that. Obviously it could be in Denver, Kansas City here and there, but it's kind of a toss-up for if it's going to be in the Midwest. So
if it's Wichita or Denver, it's about as close as it's going to get for us here where we live on the High Plains for sure. City's going to host 6 games over 2 days in the 2 years, feature tournament's lowest seeded automatic qualifiers and final at-large team. So it's the extension of the first 4. Wichita is going to be another place like Dayton, Ohio, is how that is going to work. And before we get out of here, it's looking like some sad news for Arthur Ferry. Currently watching him at Wimbledon in the semifinals. He is getting crushed in the second set. It looks like it might be over for Art Ferry. Unfortunately, what a run it has been. He's going to go from number 114 in the world to top 30 because of this one tournament at Wimbledon. But it's a lot of frustration for Arthur Ferry in Wimbledon. Right now. So for Garrett, have a great time today. Enjoy the Annie Oakley shootout. Once again, Garrett, they're broadcasting live with Chad Jones till noon. Go check it out at the Annie Oakley shoot at the Oakley Country Club. And have a great weekend, too. For Garrett Wellbrock, I'm Ross Volkmer. You all have a great weekend. We'll see you back on Monday here on The Blitz.